Alert. An unknown target is approaching from 3 o'clock. Height, 76 centimeters. Mobility, slow. Body shape, round. Recognizable feature, a knitted scarf with the number 01. Correction. The incoming target is an ally. A cute hollow exploration Bangboo named Eos. I'll go meet the target.
Location, Persenis Companion Hollow. HDD channel established. Heading to target destination, Miss Hoshimi. Wait, huh? Correction. The target destination ran over here at 200 kilometers an hour.
Next time, if you could just stay a bit more composed when I approach, Father would be more pleased.
Absolutely! Just like the photo Soichiro showed us the other day of Chief as a kid! Aw, she was so adorable.
This is all thanks to the proxy. Otherwise, Mr. Hoshimi probably wouldn't have pulled out Chief's childhood photos like that.
Stop talking about that.
Miss Hoshimi is still a young lady after all.
Ahem. Alright folks, let's not forget we're still on a mission here. Proxy, let's save the banter for later. For now, let me quickly brief you on our intel for the current operation. The hollow where Eos is currently located is a unique companion hollow, formed as a result of the recent secondary disaster in the Great Hollow Persenis. Deviant hollows such as this are typically highly corrosive to inorganic substances, giving them distinctive landscapes and causing most electronic devices to malfunction inside. As you can see, an extreme level of corruption has occurred within this hollow. A giant deviant ether crystal formed inside it, codenamed Irradiant Core, and has further intensified the hollow's ether activity and corrosive effects.
It seems pretty serious. No wonder they've called in Section 6 for the disaster relief mission.
Precisely. Public security was supposed to manage the disaster relief and containment for this hollow, but the Irradiant Core has dangerously intensified the corruption. The hollow's landscape and spatial structure have shifted again. Strong ethereals are appearing one after another, and most of PubSec's equipment has malfunctioned, so they had to hand the upcoming missions over to HSO.
PubSec should have transferred operations to HSO before conditions worsened. Given everything that happened with Bringer, however, tensions have been high. But the Hollow won't hold back its claws on new Eridu just because people show weakness. Apart from the pesky giant ethereals, we've also got the complex landscape and spatial structure to deal with. Luckily, these are exactly the kinds of problems you and I are best at tackling. Join me in severing the Hollow's greedy claws and fangs, Proxy.
How did the Irradiant Core form? How does its massive ether energy influence the Hollow? And how can it corrupt and mutate such a vast area of buildings and lands? These are all questions that researchers at the White Star Institute will need to investigate. But what we have already observed is that the various sections of the Hollow centered around its core are distorting and connecting into one, almost like one massive ethereal is taking shape. Needless to say, things aren't looking good. Normally, focusing on eliminating ethereals in each area would be an effective strategy in a typical Hollow, but that doesn't seem to be the case here.
Even if it's an ethereal as large as a Hollow, it has exposed its greatest weakness before us. Its core. Now that we know where the blade is meant to strike, the strategy is clear. Cut its limbs, strike at its core, just as we would with any other ethereal.
But HSO has only just started exploration, and our intel on the surrounding areas beyond the base's reach is very limited. If we dispatch operations under these conditions...
In that case, I'll take the lead in clearing the path. The sharpest blade should always be up front, clearing the way for everyone else.
Understood, Chief Miyabi. Then let me go over Section 6's operation strategy again. We will investigate and clear out the high-activity areas within the Hollow to reduce its overall activity, before finally heading to the central area closest to the Radiant Core, where the ether activity is highest. As our scout and vanguard, Chief Miyabi will move ahead of the main force to explore each area and suppress any potential high-threat targets.
Don't worry, I'm not fighting alone. I've got the proxy by my side.
What should I do? It's been so long. I guess I'll just go look for it myself.
What happened, Sokaku?
Ah, Proxy! You're just in time. I need your help. You've heard the depths of this hollow look completely different now, right? Chief said it's because it's a companion hollow of the Pizza Sauce Hollow, or something like that. To investigate the structure here, we sent out our standard issue Bangboo to collect hollow data. But it's been so long since they left, and no one has come back. They might have run into some danger. You're the proxy, the best at hollow exploration. Could you come with me to check it out?
No problem. I'm ready to go anytime.
Okay, let's go! No, I need to cheer everyone up. If regular fruit candy isn't enough, I'll use the ones with filling. Oh yeah, that just might work!
Fruit candy? What do you need candy for?
This hollow disaster affected a lot of kids in the orphanage. Nagi said we should cheer them up. Otherwise, if they keep holding on to these bad memories, they could end up with some kind of stress sickness or something.
Are you talking about post-traumatic stress disorder?
Exactly! That's the name! I tried to cheer those kids up, but they're still so unhappy. Even candy wouldn't work. They said that when the area fell into the hollow, their caregiver told them to run. But she stayed behind and still hasn't come out. I totally understand how they feel. If their only family disappeared, they'd be so sad. I went looking for her and even checked with PubSec. But after all this time, there's still no news. Now several kids are crying, saying they won't eat until they know where their caregiver is.
No matter what, we should at least try to investigate any possible clues. We can't just leave the kids hanging.
You're right. Oh, if you've got time, could you help me find some info about that caregiver? Or something else that can make the kids happy, like photos, toys, or something like that? Anyway, we need to cheer them up. I never expected it would end up like this. That caregiver was so kind, sacrificing herself to let the children escape first. She's as kind as Nagi. But we can't tell the kids about this. It'd break their hearts. Losing family is such a painful experience. I really hope this won't happen in New Eridu ever again.
That's true. Nothing is more precious than family. We might bicker and get angry with each other sometimes, but I can't imagine losing my family.
Exactly! That's exactly what Nagi said. Nagi also mentioned that our job in Section 6 is to keep investigating the Hollow, uncover its truth, and protect as many people as we can. Everyone in New Eridu is family to us. We won't stand by and let them get hurt anymore. Don't worry, I'll do my best to make sure everyone feels safe. Plus, I'm also working on snacks that can make people happy. I'll bring you some when they're ready.
Snacks that make people happy? Do you want to cheer me up?
Yep. You've helped me so much, so I want to make you a little happier too. If there's anything that can bring you joy, I'll do anything in my power to make it happen.
The location of this hollow disaster is unusual, and with HSO stepping in later than usual, we're facing quite a bit of time pressure in all aspects. Thanks to your help, Manager, everything still feels under control.
Just doing my small part. The real force behind controlling the hollow disaster is all of you on the front lines. But why do you still look a little worried?
You're perceptive, Manager. To be honest, we urgently need to set up a temporary HSO base here, but our supply truck had an accident on the way. The supply truck saw the ethereals dance, panicked at a glance, and crashed into a house by chance.
So the supply truck was destroyed in an ethereal attack, right?
That's it. Without those supplies, we'll be stuck at the stage of setting up the temporary base. Fortunately, not all of the supplies were destroyed in the accident. A lot of them were scattered around in the chaos. If you don't mind, Manager, I'd appreciate your help in collecting these supplies to help us take our first step in establishing the base in the Hollow.
Sure, just leave it to me.
Thanks a lot. And if you come across any other useful supplies in the Hollow, make sure to grab those too. But if it's nitro fuel, then don't bother. It'll only fuel the flames further.
Right.
I'm counting on you. HSO's performance in the upcoming battles depends entirely on the continuous supply from the base. With enough supplies, our members could even stop a Dullahan's sword and capture an armored Hati with their bare hands.
Can all HSO members actually do that? That's impressive.
They're hands-armed forces after all, so it makes sense that they'd be quite handy once fully armed.
Deputy Chief Yanagi, is it just my imagination, or have you been dropping in some jokes from time to time?
I'm sorry. I just felt like everyone's been a bit tense since we got here, so I thought I'd try a few jokes to lighten the mood. Were they not funny?
Thanks for being so considerate. Once we're finished up here, I'd love to hear some more from you.
Hey, look who it is! Proxy! No wonder Chief said time to bring out the real Melon. It was clearly about you.
I don't quite get it, but I'm grateful for her trust in me.
You came at just the right time. There's something I want to look into.
Is it just me, or do you seem especially pumped up today?
Oh, come on, Proxy. Are you having some misconceptions about me? I admit I might get someone else to cover the easier stuff, but for a crucial mission like this, there's no way I can stay out of it as the scout of Section 6. Of course, the moment I saw you, I knew today I might be able to finish work on time. All right, let's get down to it. In a previous investigation, I found quite a few ethereals gathering around the base. They're all pretty alert. Once you take out a couple, the rest run off, but they'll soon come back around.
They might be a threat to the base, right?
That's right. So next up, we need to figure out a way to hunt them down and take them all out in one go.
The Irradiant Core is deepening its corruption across the entire Hollow. Ether energy levels are rising every second. More and more devices and equipment are breaking down. However, the worst part is more and more pesky ethereals are emerging from areas with high ether activity, and the size of this companion hollow seems to be growing. At this rate, this hollow will connect with surrounding smaller ones and potentially become a new large hollow. That's something we cannot afford.
Sounds like we should go straight to the hollow with the highest activity and let Miss Hoshimi eradicate the strongest ethereals. That's usually the go-to strategy for effectively controlling hollow expansion.
Exactly. The Recon Division has already identified the perfect target for assassination. But with the current progress on creating the carrot, there's no way we can get through the complex spatial fluctuation zone, or even find a fissure that leads to the target area. I mean, I need your help, Proxy.
I'm at your disposal, Miss Void Hunter.
A message from Yanagi. After eliminating the target, the Hollow's expansion quickly slowed down. If it weren't for you, Proxy, there'd be no other way to get this assassination done. Expectations can be a heavy burden. Though it may sound presumptuous, I have a feeling that you'll always be able to meet my expectations.
Without a blade like you, Miss Hoshimi, a proxy like me would practically have no role to play. But being a relentless blade is just a projection of my own, and many others' expectations of what you should be, right? You've been wielding yourself as the blade of HSO and New Eridu. While a warrior never worries about whether the next swing will shatter their blade, beyond being a blade and a void hunter, you're still flesh and blood.
It seems you have a soft side too. But don't worry about this blade snapping from overuse. After all, I have Yanagi and the others, my father, and you. You all are the sheath that supports me.
So, about the photos Mr. Soichiro showed me at your place.
All right, Proxy. If Yanagi were here, she would remind us that we're still on a mission. Right now, the priority isn't to comfort me, but to put an end to the disaster that's still wreaking havoc, right? The operation to sever its limbs is done. Now, it's time to go for its core. Let's head back to the base first. We need to make sure we're fully prepared before advancing toward the core of evil in the sky.
These juniors are so enthusiastic. It's making me a bit overwhelmed. Could this be the side effect of always taking sick leave?
Are there some issues between you and those juniors?
It's not exactly an issue. It's just that, for this Hollow investigation, Section 6 has to bring along some new HSO recruits. Tsukishiro has so much work to do, so I stepped up to help with training the new recruits. But they are way too enthusiastic. It's like they're afraid I'll work myself sick, so they try to do everything for me and take on all the tasks. I keep telling them over and over I'm perfectly fine, but they still look at me so cautiously as if they're worried I'll cough up blood and drop dead from exhaustion right there on the spot.
Looks like taking so many sick days has given others this stereotypical impression of you.
But this won't do. Deputy Chief is tied up with her work. I need to quickly finish up here and go help her. Oh, if you've got time, could you help me train the newcomers a bit? Working with external personnel is also part of their training, after all.
No problem. I'll handle it.
I'm so relieved to hear you say that. These new recruits are very capable. They won't cause you any trouble. Awesome! These new recruits have finally got the hang of the basic investigation process. They're actually starting to look the part. But a real Hollow investigation is quite different from the simulated tests during training. They'll just have to learn the details as they go along. Aside from Hollow investigations, they also have a lot to learn about the daily work side of things.
Like, how to find a good excuse to call in sick?
Hey, taking leave is no simple skill. You'd need a lot of practice to reach my level. Still, it's great to see them so full of energy. I didn't have that kind of enthusiasm when I first joined HSO. Maybe it's because I hadn't met Chief and the others back then. I still remember when I first coughed up blood on purpose to call in sick. Everyone in Section 6 was completely freaked out. If I hadn't noticed things getting out of control and recovered just in time, I bet the deputy chief would have booked me everything from a hospital bed to a funeral package.
You don't need to make it that convincing.
Everyone in Section 6 is too serious. Even though they don't say it, they each have their own ways of keeping an eye on my condition. So, in times when they need support, I have to pull myself together. Everyone's giving it their all for this Hollow investigation. I can't let myself hold them back. Good thing you're here with me this time. If I really can't hold on any longer, I'll shout for your help.
That concludes the mission content that will be handled by Asaba and Sakaku. Chief, you'll head alone to the central area closest to the Irradiant Core. There, you'll eliminate any high-threat ethereals that have spawned and reduce the danger there as much as possible before the main forces arrive. This is the most challenging and dangerous part of this operation, just like always. Please be careful, Chief Miyabi.
There's that concerned look again. Don't worry, Yanagi. I've got Tailless and the proxy on my side.
Don't worry, Miss Yanagi. If we're in danger, I'll shout for help through Eos' speaker at full volume.
It must be a really terrifying enemy to force the proxy to do something like that. That's all for the briefing. Wishing everyone a victorious return.
Hold on, Proxy. I have something to tell you. About what happened the last time my father invited you to our home. I wasn't angry with you. It was my father who was out of line. I'm sorry for the trouble he caused. It's just that I saw a photo of my mother that day. Maybe in your eyes, this child is the sharpest blade the world has ever seen.
But all Mommy really wants is for you to grow up safe and sound. Because the path to becoming a hero often comes with losses that can't be undone. My Miyabi doesn't need the demon sword. I just want her to live an ordinary, happy life. I'm sure you'll become an outstanding person. But I also hope you don't grow up too fast. Just a little more slowly. Because growing up is a gift that comes with a price.
You know, what you told me is almost the same as what my mother said. I've already found the reason to wield my blade. I'll keep seeking a purpose that goes beyond wielding the blade. A hero's battle has to have an end, right? When the day comes that all evil has been eradicated. When that day comes, ask me again, Proxy. Ask me if I found a reason to live without a blade in my hand. This is my one-sided, selfish wish for you. But please, be sure to keep it in mind.
Manager, have you heard any strange sirens around here?
Sirens? PubSec should have all cleared out by now.
Oh, is that so? Maybe I just misheard. Is all this overtime giving me tinnitus? Guess I'll need to ask Chief for a day off once this is done. But on second thought, this month's reports haven't been reviewed yet, and the summary report for this incident is still unwritten. If I delay any further, next month's work will be postponed too, and coordination with upstream and downstream departments will run into problems. Turns out taking a full day off is too much to hope for. A half day should be enough.
Enough with the mumbling. It makes me feel like I'm drowning in work. I'm so stressed that my ears are ringing.
Huh? Oh, I'm sorry, Manager. Please, excuse my rambling. So it really is a siren. Seems I wasn't hearing things. Those autonomous mechs must be around here.
Autonomous mechs? You mean there are still PubSec mechs in this area?
Yes. When the Hollow disaster broke out, the nearby precinct dispatched a batch of autonomous mechs into the Hollow to clear out the ethereals and help evacuate refugees. But some of them lost connection due to ether activity, and their location remains unknown. It's likely they've been corrupted and are now completely out of control. If we don't intervene, they might cause trouble for the investigation.
Just leave it to me. You go get some rest and stop pushing yourself so hard.
Really, Manager? I'm counting on you then. An unexpected Hollow disaster. Autonomous mechs losing control. If we can figure out what happened during the disaster, we might improve our prevention systems and reduce unnecessary losses in the future. Phew. We're finally done. Thank you so much for your help, Manager. Based on the information I've gathered so far, there's still room for improvement in the response strategy for this particular type of special Hollow disaster. Once I'm back at HQ, I must write a report on this as soon as possible. Don't look at me like that, Manager. I'm just feeling a little dizzy.
No way. You've been working too long without rest. If you keep going like this, your body won't hold up.
I can't. Not yet. We're just getting started in this Hollow. If I stop now, the workflow will be disrupted. This is more than just completing a mission. It's about meeting the expectations people have for Section 6.
Expectations? I see.
When the city is thrown into chaos by a disaster, and PubSec is occupied with evacuating civilians, it's up to Section 6 to step in and become the blade that blocks the Hollow. And not just me. Chief, Asaba, Sukaku, everyone's pushing through to get the job done. As for me, I'm the one supporting them from behind. That's why I can't falter now.
If possible, let me be the one to support you. At the very least, I can help you share some of the workload.
Thank you, Manager. That's true. With you here, I feel like even working overtime isn't a big deal. Oh, I didn't mean for you to work overtime. I just meant... because you're here, I can keep going until everything's done. By the way, after we're done here, do you want to swing by the bakery nearby? They have the best red bean buns.